Left versus right. This will be the topic of today's video, and by using the capabilities of my mind, I'm trying to get a deeper understanding of the topic and maybe even reality itself. Let's see. The left and the right, huh? Yes. You have two arms, two sides of your body, but of course what I'm talking here is the political left and right. I will preach to you now which one is better, which one you should vote for, because that's what I'm doing here. As so many others on the internet, no, that's not what I will do. I want to zoom out here. And if you zoom out, the whole thing is absolutely ridiculous. It's a children's play, nothing more. And this is one of the things in the time of the recording that confuses me the most. Like, how can you not understand that when you only go left, you go in a circle. And you only go right, you go in a circle. And when you only use the left side of your body, or the right side, then you will have a stroke probably, or you are dead. Yes. They are both wrong. If you think the left is right and we should have left policies all the time, or you think the right is right and we should have right policies all the time, you are wrong. And you are both right at the same time. How is that possible? Because the world is not that simple. And it is beyond foolish to think that you have one path, one solution for eternity, for all of humanity. It's absolutely ridiculous. No. What I think, what's useful, if you are observing politics or are active in politics, even more so, you need both. Okay? And it depends on the time. It depends on the time and on the space you're in. Because in different countries, one or the other will be more useful. And in the same country at a different time, one or the other will be more useful. And what we are now seeing is we're going so much to the extreme to one side that then the pendulum snaps, and then you have an extreme swing to the other side, and then the pendulum will snap again. And each time the pendulum is swinging like this, many things will get destroyed and then are lost. And this is basically the story of the last decades, maybe even the last century. In some way you could argue this, but this is a little bit beyond the scope of this video here. So now let's expand the idea a little bit. I like doing that. I talked about feminine and masculine in another video. You can watch that if that's interesting for you. And if it's not obvious to you, the feminine and the masculine are obviously connected to the left and the right in politics. I think it's pretty obvious which one is which. So that means if you think the path forward can only be left, can only be liberal, some say, or only be even communist, if you go really extremely to the left, this is the only path forward. This is the future. This is the truth. It's obviously also the feminine path in some way. Then probably you have a problem in yourself with your masculine parts. And it doesn't matter if you are a man or a woman here. This is because each man has a feminine part in himself, and it's called, like, defined by Jung, the psychologist, is the anima, and vice versa. The animus is the masculine part in every woman. Okay, and it can even be bigger in a woman than her feminine part. Of course, now at this time of the recording, this should be pretty obvious to you if you're living in the West. Okay, so now if you are very focused, we can use the other example too. You're only conservative and you only think this is the right path forward. Easy joke here. Then you are neglecting the anima inside, the feminine part. And you cannot live without it, because the feminine is also life itself. And if you are 100% go the right political path, the path of the masculine, it will lead to death. Because then it's also, of course, death. Yeah, we can use a positive connotation. It's order too, but if everything is completely ordered, then there is also no freedom anymore. This is terrible. This is a state of hell in some way. If you have the absolute order, yes, everything. Yes, then there's only one path, and then there's no path at all, because in the West, where can you choose? And then it's also super boring. Who wants to live in a world that is 100% ordered? This is absolutely boring, because nothing unusual will happen. Yes, this is the extreme here. And the other way around too. If you have only the feminine, you go only the left, fully, completely, it's just complete chaos. And then you have no security anymore, nothing. And then also, again, it's just full confusion, full insanity and madness, and nothing makes sense anymore. It's just only chaos. It's like if you used to be, turn on the TV and it's just fast. Yeah, nothing makes sense anymore. There's no picture anymore. This is also hell, of course. Yeah. Luckily, these states are nearly impossible to achieve, but what we manage, it seems like, is swing quite far, actually, because it seems like we do not really understand the process behind it. You could make an easy argument for that if you look, what happened in politics in the last years especially, but also in the last century, of course. So now we could expand it even a little further. The idea and go, like also psychologist Jung explained in his great work. Of course, if you are neglecting the masculine in yourself, or the feminine, this is a conflict against your mother or your father. You have a problem with your father or your mother. You have not come to peace with them, and now you're projecting it into the world, out of yourself into the world. It doesn't belong in the world. This has nothing to do with the world. It's your own problem. It's your problem with your mother or your father, which you didn't come to peace with, which it's the same as your masculine and your feminine part, of course, because your mother and your father are a part of you. It doesn't matter if you're a woman or a man. And it's not about fighting against them or becoming them. It's another mistake you could make, because you are also not your father and not your mother, but in an evolutionary or a chemical process, you are something else. You transcended them, or should. If not, then you failed in your life, of course, because this is the definition of evolution, that you take the best parts of them and then come one step ahead, and then hopefully your son and your daughter can do the same, and will then transcend you and your wife or your husband, of course. Yes. So what we're seeing now is a lot of mommy and daddy issues that pushed so far out of the inside of the people that it's now omnipresent in the public sphere, where it doesn't belong. Because these are problems of children, of teenagers, maybe you could say adolescents. They are fighting, the adolescents would probably be the best. Children, this is not the story of rebelling against your parents or becoming your parents. No? It always is, there are two sides to the coin. Is the story of adolescence. No? It's a fight against your parents, and this is now translated also into the world of politics. No? The fight against authority. No? It's connected to the archetype of the father, the king. No? So you're mistaking it here, and then of course the fight against life itself, no? the force of life, and also the forces of chaos or spontaneity maybe. It's just the feminine again, and you're mistaking it again with your mother. No, that's not the case. That's not the case. This is your own problem, and the other thing is something about humanity. But isn't that interesting? It's so interesting, I guess, that you can project this. And of course, if we go to the stories of the gods and the several myths of creation, then here we are. We have our mother, probably here, down there, the earth mother, and we have the father in the sky. And then this is the great topic of this century, I would say, because this is just what I'm observing. This is why I make these videos, because then I can order my mind too and hopefully structure it in a higher form. It helps me understand my own thoughts and ideas and see if they even make sense if I speak them out loud. You should try that too. Maybe then you will realize many of your ideas, they don't stand even the test of your own voice. Happens very often. But also, to share it with you, maybe you have some benefit, of course. And then one of the great things that I'm observing right now is exactly this, that humanity, maybe too, but especially the West, because they have more understanding. My understanding of the other cultures of the world is still comparably limited. But the West for sure is in a state of adolescence, I would say. But maybe it's humanity as a whole. It could be very possible. And that means that the great challenge we are facing in this century is exactly this: to major as a species and to become an adult species. And then maybe we will find a place among the gods. Who knows? Who knows? As equals and not as children and not as rebelling against them. Whatever this means, this is a good topic for another video. That's for sure. But it's a little teaser maybe. Okay. Now we expand it, have all these different ideas. You have the conflict with your mother and your father, your inner daddy and mommy issues, and also your problem with your feminine and masculine that you cannot really integrate into your being. Yes, and now you are projecting this, as many others, into the realm of policies, and a lot of chaos is created. So what could be a better path? Realizing what I said in the beginning, you will only run in circles if you only go one way. No, we need both, because only like this we can move forward. So there's no need, it's futile to fight against the feminine and the masculine, against the goddess and the god. There's no chance you will win this fight, because you're just a human like me. But we use it both, and depending on the situation, we can make wise choices. A simple example would be, if the time is very ordered, things are maybe also going very good, there's economic growth and everything, then maybe it would be wise to go a little bit more to the feminine side, a little bit more chaos, a little bit more life-induced. That would be nice. Like, for example, this is an archetype, but normally you describe the Germans as very orderly and structured. At least it used to be like this. And then, if you are like this, then maybe you need a little bit more feminine, more life, more chaos. And vice versa. If you're too chaotic, too feminine, only enjoying life and everything, but many random things are happening, then maybe a little bit more order. And this is then applied, like I said in the beginning, it depends always on space and time, because the zeitgeist, as you say, can change, of course. And what is valid for today, tomorrow maybe will not be the most effective choice anymore. And the same, only because in your country or your area this will be a wise choice, in another it will probably not be like that. And then we see this huge and beautiful play of feminine and masculine, which in the end should be like a dance, like a dance, like you do if you have a very healthy relationship. And this is beautiful, and I think that could be the path forward for our species. So we put in the center the harmony of these seemingly opposing forces, and make them dance, and then maybe out of it we can create a path that moves us forward to our future among the stars. I hope you enjoyed that. This was another discussion with my own mind. And if you do, I will do more of it in the future. You can subscribe, then you will see if I upload another video. And if you have something to add, feel free to do that in the comment. We'll be very happy to read your thoughts and ideas. Until then, may love and freedom be with you.